Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Forex Shorts Podcast,
Yes, sir.
where we aim to add value and a positive impact on your trading endeavors.
Absolutely.
So today, we're going to be diving deep into a recent conversation
Yes.
with the very successful Forex trader at QBanks. And this was on the Forex Beginner Podcast with Calvin, the new trader.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, a lot of you have actually reached out to us
Yes, they have.
and said that you found a lot of value in this conversation.
A lot of gems in there.
Yeah, there's a ton of gems. And, you know, you guys, our listeners, are looking to gain knowledge
Yes.
quickly and thoroughly,
Facts.
especially when it comes to trading.
100%.
So that's what we're going to be focusing on today.
Yes, sir.
We're going to unpack the core principles and actionable advice
That's right.
from that interview for you.
Absolutely.
So what would you say our mission is in this deep dive?
Our mission is to extract those key nuggets
Okay.
from QBank's experience
Yeah.
that can truly add value to your trading journey. We're going to be focusing on what fueled his initial drive,
Okay.
how his entrepreneurial spirit intertwines with his Forex success,
Interesting.
and the practical strategies and mindset shifts he shared that can benefit both new and experienced traders.
Okay.
We want to provide you with those aha moments
Well,
without getting bogged down in unnecessary details.
all right. So with that said, let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
I guess a good place to start would be like
Okay.
looking at what initially sparked Calvin's interest in QBanks.
Yes.
He mentioned that seeing QBanks make a $176,000 trade early on was like a huge motivator for him to take trading seriously.
It's very motivating.
It's super motivating.
Yeah.
It really highlights the potential within Forex, right?
It provides that powerful visual of what is achievable.
Yeah, absolutely. And QBanks himself actually spoke about this.
Yeah.
He spoke about that lifestyle that success has afforded him.
Right.
He kind of called it like a lifestyle with no limitations.
Lifestyle with no limitations.
I like that. Including like, you know, traveling the world with his family on a private jet. So the core insight here is that Forex isn't just about
Yes.
numbers on a screen.
Correct.
It can be a vehicle
Yes.
for significant personal freedom and opportunity.
Facts.
And, you know, it's interesting because
Yeah.
it wasn't just personal financial gain that was motivating him either.
Right.
He actually emphasized the importance of involving his family
Okay.
in this journey.
Yeah.
You know, building what we called like an empire together.
Building an empire with the family. I like that.
Yeah, and he talked about like bringing his daughter along on trips,
Yeah.
showing her different parts of the world.
Wow.
So it seems like creating those diverse experiences, you know, stemming from his own upbringing on a farm in Jamaica,
Okay.
it's like a powerful driving force for him.
That's beautiful, man, because it's like, you know,
Yeah.
it all goes back to your roots. You know, he wants to be able to provide that broad perspective for his daughter that he didn't have.
Exactly.
And now through trading,
Yeah.
you know, he's able to build something even bigger and better for his family.
And you know what I find so fascinating is that
What's that?
he connects his roots to his aspirations.
Yes.
And like, that's a really powerful principle.
Yeah.
That your values and your background can be this huge source of motivation
Yes.
in your trading.
100%.
So that's something to think about, guys. Like, what's driving you?
Yeah. What's your why?
What's your why?
Yeah.
But moving on, I think this is where it gets really interesting for me.
Let's get to the juice.
This entrepreneurial mindset.
Yes, sir.
QBanks mentioned that his entrepreneurial drive existed way before Forex.
Okay.
He even ran a roadside assistance business
Really?
and made a good profit just on the signups.
Wow.
So it really reframes Forex, not just as a trading activity,
Okay.
but like another form of entrepreneurial pursuit.
I like that. Right.
Yeah, it's like, you know, instead of looking at it as just trading,
Yeah.
you're actually building a business.
Yeah.
You're building a brand.
Absolutely.
You're building a legacy.
Yeah. And it challenges that common misconception
What's that?
that a real trader
Yeah.
is solely focused on the markets.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of people think that,
people think that.
you know, but QBanks is a perfect example of someone
Yeah.
who has that entrepreneurial spirit,
Yeah.
and he's using that to fuel his trading success.
And those skills are directly transferable.
100%.
You know, like identifying opportunity,
Yes,
managing risk, building something from scratch.
it all translates.
All these things are so applicable to Forex.
That's right.
So if you guys have that entrepreneurial itch,
Yeah,
Forex can be an amazing outlet for you.
it definitely can.
And, you know, he made a very good point
Okay, what's that?
about the inherent stability and the unlimited income potential within Forex.
Because it's connected to massive global markets and financial institutions.
Global markets?
It's not subject to the same vulnerabilities as like traditional businesses.
A lot of traditional businesses, are subject to, the economy going up and down.
Yeah.
But
Forex is just...
Forex is global. It's 245.
Yeah.
It's banks.
Exactly.
So it's way more stable.
Yeah. So there's a lot of advantages there.
Absolutely.
If you're entrepreneurially minded. And the scalability is immense.
Yes.
But he also pointed out that it's really important to forge your own path.
Right.
Driven by personal goals.
Okay.
Like family time travel. All those things, rather than just getting caught up in, what you see online sometimes, like the Lamborghinis.
Yeah, the Lambos and the fancy cars and the watches.
Yeah. And he actually mentioned it took him 9 years.
9 years.
Of dedicated effort.
Wow.
To reach his current level.
So that's a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah. So that's a good reminder that, it's not an overnight success thing.
Definitely not.
It takes time.
It takes time.
Yeah.
And what's
what?
What's really interesting, I think we should look at now, are those pivotal moments that really shifted his mindset. There's this great story about him working at Target. While he was earning money trading.
Okay.
Right. And there's a few specific incidents that he shared that led him to finally make the leap to full-time trading.
Okay. Let's hear about that.
So he was talking about like those small but significant moments of realization.
Okay.
Like when he hit his first $1,000 trading day. And he was supposed to be in a sociology class.
Oh, wow.
Right. It's just like,
his mind was not in sociology.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's a pretty clear indicator that that's where his focus was.
Yeah.
And that's where his potential lay.
It's like, sometimes you got to recognize when your actions and aspirations are diverging.
And then he also talks about this cart duty incident.
Cart duty.
Yeah, in the rain.
Oh, no.
And it was just like this visceral experience of realizing he had outgrown that kind of work.
He did not belong there.
He did not belong there.
Yeah.
It highlights how sometimes it takes a stark contrast between your current reality and your potential to like trigger that decisive action.
Absolutely.
And there's also this great moment where
what happened?
He's trying to encourage a student to leave their job while he's still employed himself.
Interesting.
And he just felt this incongruence.
Right. That doesn't add up.
Yeah. Your advice should align with your actions and beliefs.
100%.
Walk the walk.
You got to walk the walk.
And what's interesting is when he finally decided to resign from his job, it was very calculated.
Okay.
He saved up 3 months of living expenses.
3 months.
So that's a great principle. It is. Manage the risk even when you're making a life change.
Right.
It wasn't impulsive.
Yeah, you got to be calculated with these things.
And then he had this moment of like, now what?
Now what?
And then he was like, well,
yeah,
I'm confident I can make at least $5,000 a month.
Okay.
To cover my basic needs.
$5,000 a month.
So it's important to have that financial target.
Yeah.
And the belief that you can achieve it.
Yeah. Belief is everything.
Before you make that kind of transition.
Facts.
And he was determined never to double back.
Never go back.
Never go back.
To the 9 to 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once he committed fully to entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So that shows a lot of resolve.
It does.
Which I think is important.
Absolutely.
But now for those of you who are, developing as traders, Q Banks offered some very direct advice.
All right, let's hear it.
Particularly regarding scaling up and trading strategies. Calvin asked him specifically about the emotional aspect of handling those increasing profits.
Emotion is a big part of trading.
Huge part.
You got to be able to manage it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's really actionable here is his perspective on trading pairs.
Okay.
He suggested considering USDJPY.
USDJPY, also known as UJ.
Right, UJ.
Okay.
And he said that from his experience, it's a faster moving pair that offers greater profit potential compared to some of the other pairs.
Okay.
Like your UDSD, USDCHF.
Okay.
USD.
Got it.
So the key insight here is that staying confined to just 1 or 2 pairs might limit your growth opportunities.
Okay.
And that you should be, exploring and diversifying your focus.
Gotcha.
And it's actually interesting to hear about his own progression through the different trading instruments.
Okay.
He started with RUDSD.
IUDD.
Then moved to USDJPY. And GBPJPY
Wow.
Then gold, and ultimately US30.
So he went through the whole gamut.
The whole gamut.
Yeah.
And he emphasized that like shifting to different instruments unlocked greater profit potential for a similar level of effort.
So you're saying that...
So I think the question here is, are you trading the instruments that best suit your style?
That's a good question.
And your goals?
Yeah. Are you just sticking with what's familiar?
Yeah. Or are you strategically selecting those trading instruments? Because, you know, his experience shows that being open to exploring different pairs and indices can be a catalyst for growth.
Absolutely.
And another great piece of advice he had.
What's that?
Was his strategy for scaling lot sizes.
Okay.
And he was saying, you know, place the largest portion of your position.
Okay.
At your most confident and precise entry point.
Right.
You know, or like heaviest on top for a sell order.
Heaviest on top.
That's a great way to manage risk.
It is.
And maximize potential gains.
It's all about risk management.
It is all about risk management. And you're deploying your largest capital allocation.
Okay.
At the point where you believe the probability of success is the highest.
So it's like...
So if it moves in your favor, that larger position is generating the most profit.
Right away.
Right away.
Okay.
But it's important to remember, this requires a robust and well-tested entry strategy.
Yeah. You don't want to just jump in.
Yeah. And a strong understanding of risk management.
You got to know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about motivation.
All right.
Because it seems like QBanks' current drive is really rooted in helping others.
Okay.
Now that he's achieved his own goals,
he's giving back.
He's giving back.
Yeah.
And what's really inspiring is his genuine enthusiasm for seeing new traders succeed.
Yeah.
He actually spoke about the satisfaction he gets from witnessing their excitement and, you know, being able to offer guidance based on his own experience.
He's been there, done that.
Yeah. And it highlights that cyclical nature of success.
What do you mean?
Like you've been helped and now you want to help others.
Yeah, like pay it forward.
Exactly. Pay it forward.
I like that.
And he highlighted his admiration for students like Raul, who took that foundational knowledge that he provided.
Right.
And really built something substantial.
Built something incredible.
Yeah. So even with excellent mentorship, it's ultimately the individual's dedication and hard work that leads to success.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're responsible for your own success.
Exactly. And his perspective on his role in others' success is very humble.
Okay.
He emphasizes his consistency and effort while acknowledging that the achievement belongs to the student.
Right.
So it's a very realistic view of mentorship.
Yeah, he's not taking all the credit.
No, not at all. And he also touched upon the importance of deep immersion and passion in learning. You know, he actually compared it to athletes.
Really?
Who practice relentlessly.
Wow, I like that.
So the quality of your engagement with learning is far more important than simply the number of hours you put in.
So it's not about quantity, it's about quality.
Exactly.
I see.
And he identified a few key characteristics of successful students. A keen eye for detail. Active participation in the learning process and a genuine thirst for understanding the principles of trading.
The nitty gritty.
The nitty gritty.
Yeah.
And, you know, we briefly touched upon his personal life too.
Yeah.
You know, he shared his views on relationships and marriage.
Right.
As significant lifestyle steps.
Okay.
That shouldn't be rushed.
Don't rush into those.
Don't rush into those things.
Yeah.
And he also emphasized the value of having a strong and supportive inner circle.
Okay.
You know, his soldiers. Who are invested in his well-being and success.
Yeah. You got to have a good support system.
Absolutely. Because that network of support provides resilience.
Yeah.
Especially in the world of trading.
It can get tough.
It can get tough.
Absolutely.
But you know, for those of you who might be facing challenges as new traders, QBanks offered some really practical advice.
I'm all ears.
He said, don't depend solely on trading for income in those initial stages.
Right.
You know, to avoid that pressure and stress.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So integrate it
as
part of your income strategy. And then you can gradually increase your reliance on trading.
Okay.
As you gain consistency and confidence.
That makes sense.
It's very like risk-aware approach.
Yeah, very calculated.
Yeah. And he stressed the importance
of what?
Of reinvesting those profits back into your education.
I like that.
Through mentorship, networking courses, events. And his message was so clear. Like, don't view spending on knowledge as an expense,
right?
But as an investment.
Knowledge is power.
It really is. And knowledge is that permanent asset.
Yes.
That compounds over time.
Absolutely.
So surrounding yourself with those experienced individuals.
Yeah, you got to have mentors.
Yeah. And continuously upgrading your skills.
You always got to be learning.
Yeah. That's essential for growth in this field.
It is.
Calvin also asked him about his legacy.
Okay.
And what message he hopes to leave behind.
Interesting.
And his response was very profound.
Okay.
He said that he wants to be remembered as someone who contributed to the growth and development of new traders and financial analysts.
I like that.
You know, by sharing his knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
So he's creating a positive ripple effect.
He's leaving his mark.
He's leaving his mark. And he even had a specific image in mind.
Really?
For his lasting representation. A classic black and white photograph.
Interesting.
Suggesting like a timeless impact.
I like that.
And I think it's also worth noting.
What?
That they discussed the power of positive thinking.
Positive thinking.
Yeah, and Q-Banks actually cited The Secret as a big influence on his mindset.
Interesting.
And he talked about how he made this conscious effort to shift from negative thoughts, like worrying about bills, to positive affirmations, focused on abundance.
Yeah.
So our mindset plays a huge role.
It does.
In achieving our goals.
Yeah, your thoughts become things.
They do. They do. And he also said that it's so easy to fall into negativity.
Yeah.
Compared to the effort it takes to cultivate optimism.
Right.
And to speak positively about your aspirations.
You got to work for it.
You got to work for it.
Yeah.
And finally, they discussed Q-Bank's current ventures.
Yeah.
Which are pretty diverse.
Okay. Let's hear about it.
He's the driving force behind Wall Street Academy.
Wall Street Academy.
Which is his educational platform.
It's okay.
And then he also has Top Tier Trader.
Top Tier Trader.
Which is a proprietary trading firm.
Wow.
And then TradeLocker.
TradeLocker.
A trading platform designed to enhance MT4 and MT5.
Enhance MT4, MT5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's involved in many different facets.
Wow, he's busy.
He's busy with the trading ecosystem.
Yeah.
And he emphasized his approach of partnering with individuals who have specialized expertise.
Okay.
So it's a very smart way to scale and build a successful suite of businesses.
He's got it all figured out.
So in this deep dive, we've really extracted those key insights from his journey.
Absolutely.
You know, from his initial motivations to his entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
To his practical trading strategies.
Yeah.
And his commitment to giving back.
A lot of gems in there.
So you've heard how that entrepreneurial mindset has served as a foundation for his Forex success.
100%.
And the importance he places on continuous learning and maintaining a positive mental outlook.
Absolutely.
And his journey really shows us that achieving success in Forex is often a marathon.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Not a sprint. It's fueled by broader ambitions.
Yeah.
And a commitment to growth.
Growth mindset.
Growth mindset. So I think, you know, the specific advice he shared, like, you know, considering different currency pairs.
Yeah.
And his scaling strategy offers tangible takeaways.
Absolutely.
And his emphasis on reinvesting in your knowledge is really that recurring theme that we have to remember.
It's so important.
It's so important.
Yeah.
So I hope this conversation has given you guys some valuable perspectives and maybe a few aha moments relevant to your own journey.
100%.
And I encourage you guys to reflect on these insights.
Yeah. Take some notes.
Yeah, take some notes.
Yeah.
And, you know, think about how they apply to your own trading.
Your own trading.
Maybe you'll reevaluate the pairs that you're trading.
Yeah.
Or your approach to continuous learning.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us.
Yes.
For this deep dive into the world of Forex.
Yeah.
Through the lens of Q-Bank's experience.
Appreciate you tuning in.
And we hope these insights provide you with value.
Absolutely.
And contribute positively to your trading.
100%.
Please subscribe. Turn on post notifications.
Yeah.
So you don't miss future videos from us.
We'll be back with more.
Leave a comment on what you learned.
Yeah, let us know.
Give the video a like.
Hit that like button.
And also share this video.
Spread the knowledge.
Thank you for listening to the Forex Shorts podcasts.
Peace out.
Peace out.